Okay, last type of trig graph to learn, which is secant. And much like cosecant, we started with the reciprocal, which is going to be the reciprocal sine, and secant, the reciprocal of that, is going to be cosine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draft up a skeleton of cosine, and so we can put all the pieces together from there. Okay, so there is cosine, and what we're going to do in the same vein that we did cosecant is that we have every single one of these x-intercepts turn into the asymptotes for all the same reason, is that the reciprocal of 0 is undefined, so that's going to turn into an asymptote. And then we need to go ahead and flip that on over because we're not shifting it any which way. Oops. And so each one of these are going to be flipping on over like so. And here we go. It's kind of finishing up on these horseshoes here. And yeah, that's the way that secant's going to look. So let me go ahead and get rid of the old cosine graph so we can get a better look at it. Okay, so there we go. And so we're going to start filling in the bottom here so we can get to the example. So in its parent form, we know that we're going to have the amplitude of 1 because that's what cosine had. Again, before we flipped it on over, had an amplitude of 1 between each peak and valley. And then we have the same thing, which is going to be a period of 2 pi. And you can look at it in a bunch of different ways, but here is a period of 2 pi, which basically means is that it's going to start repeating itself over that. Okay. Oops, I'm going to get rid of that and then put 2 pi here. All right. There's no phase shift in the standard form, and there's no vertical shift in the standard form. Just like its friend the cosecant graph, there are no x-intercepts, okay? And the y-intercept here is going to be at 0, 1, okay? And then what we're going to do, oops, sorry about that, is that we're going to take a look at the domain. And the domain is going to be all real numbers except, okay, x equals, and we start off with the first positive break in the domain, which is pi over 2 plus the distance in between each intercept. Okay, sorry, not each intercept, each asymptote. I misspoke. And so it's going to be pi, so that is pi n, where n is an integer, okay? And then finally the range is going to be the same, exactly the opposite of what cosine would be. And so it's a negative infinity to a negative 1 union with a positive 1 to infinity, okay? So that's what that looks like in standard form. So let's go on to an example of that.